I just thought there's not enough Spanish-speaking creators living in the US, and I thought that could be, that would make me stand out. There's a lot of, for brands, an industry that they're not seeing, or a target or a niche of all the US Hispanics that are here, that they also like the outdoors, that they also, spend money. I'm trying to break the bridge between cultures in a way, or to be the bridge.
This is Creator, the podcast from Matador Network. I'm your host, Ross Borden, and I believe creators are the future of all global advertising. So join me as I sit down with top creators to hear about how they got started, the challenges they've overcome, and the tips you need to become a full-time creator. All right, we're back with another episode of Creator, the podcast. Today we have Tanya Badillo. So Tanya is an outdoor influencer, travel creator, adventure creator. I noticed that a lot of it was in Spanish. Luckily, I speak some Spanish, but that was a cool thing that was really unique. And then, really, you go some incredible places. So we got a lot to talk about today. Tanya, welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Ross, for having me here. It's a pleasure. This is my first ever podcast in English, so I'm excited that the Latino community is being featured in podcasts like yours. So thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Tanya Badillo, and I'm currently based in Washington, but I travel all over, and I grew up most of my time in Mexico. So I just decided to keep posting in Spanish, even though I live in the US, since a lot of there's a ton of Spanish-speaking people in the US and in general all over the world.
Yeah, who love travel and outdoors, right? I feel like there's a massive audience to be reached. So you grew up in Mexico, you're living in the US now. You described yourself to me as a nomad. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into the stuff about becoming a creator.
Yeah, so I was born in Texas in a place called Waco, and literally when I was 4 months old, my parents moved to Mexico, and I've lived all my life there, but we traveled a lot as well, since my dad is a geoscientist. I decided to study my high school afar from my family in a very good high school that I got a scholarship to. So basically I've been living alone since I was 15 and using my studies to travel since I discovered my passion for traveling. That I did a exchange program in Canada. I studied a master's in the UK. And then I did a graduate program that took me to Costa Rica. So
wow.
Basically, I did a lot of studies in order to focus on my main goal, and my passion is traveling.
What were you studying? I'm curious. What did you study in the UK and Costa Rica and get your degrees in? So
my bachelor is in geophysics, engineering.
Okay.
Then my master is in petroleum exploration geoscience in the UK, and what got me an internship in Costa Rica was a energy management program.
Wow, interesting. So energy and resources exploration, that in itself could be a travel job right there.
I made travel part of my lifestyle. So basically, even before content creation, I don't know anything else, or it's just so normal for me what I do, like traveling and content or exploring nature. It's always been part of my life since I was very young, because also my dad was a geoscientist. So we were going to different places and being out there in nature. And I was going when I was super young with him to do the field work. And we had to be sometimes like a couple of days up to weeks in certain places to do the field work. And
sure. Sounds like a very interesting life so far. It sort of travels in your DNA and also in your upbringing with your dad and all your studies as well. So we ask a lot of pretty much everyone who comes on the show, are you full-time creator, or are you still pursuing the formal career that you started and did your studies for?
I decided that being in the oil and gas industry, it really takes a lot of years, a lot of commitment, and literally climbing the corporate ladder. So I decided not to pursue. At some point, I just decided that it was going to take me ages to do a career in Mexico from where I studied. And when I was around 2022, I decided to quit my job in Mexico and to move to the US or pursue a career in the US, because I also started researching that being a content creator could be a full-time job if I wanted to. So with that in mind, having had different road trips to the US before that, or while I was doing this job, I decided that I was going to take the leap and move to the US after not having lived there for all my life and just start from scratch. And I got a job that was remote, that is remote. I'm still in this job, and it's allowed me to have a lot of freedom to continue doing content creation. And actually, when I moved to the US, I decided that I was going to get a job that was going to help me achieve my dreams at the same time. So the only reason that I got this job was to be able to understand the system of a new country. I had never paid taxes here. I didn't have a credit score. I literally started from zero. I didn't have an ID. It was a challenge for sure, but I'm very happy I took the leap, because it was in that moment where I started seeing content creation as a business, because I feel the US is much more advanced in terms of the influencer marketing industry as a whole than other countries. So people here take it seriously. Photography, it's being taken seriously. There's a lot of regulations, lots of things that I had to learn, and I'm very happy that I decided to do that. But no, just to answer your question, I still have my day job, and I do content creation on the side as well as other gigs, just to keep myself.
That's busy. Awesome. I mean, that's great. And that hybrid life of career and content creator career is obviously working really well for you. So congrats on the move to the US and starting from nothing and figuring out how to navigate all of that stuff. And so let's talk about your career as a content creator. Did you have like a platform just for fun, and then you're like, whoa, I'm getting tons of followers? Or were you from the very beginning kind of strategic and like building an audience and doing this on a regular basis?
I remember back in 2019, I had like around 4,000 followers. I did a big trip with a friend of mine to Peru. We did 2 weeks of backpacking in Peru, and I was like, oh my God, I started taking it seriously there. And just during COVID, that's when everybody was stuck at home. I had a lot of footage. I had this challenge with a friend, and we were kind of pushing each other to see who would reach 10K first, and just being consistent at it and trying to, like growing with the algorithm, because before it was just photos or epic photos of you in nature, surrounded by the greatness of being out there in places that are so magical and you're so small. And I was just like hunting for that as much as I could. I was a lot into mountaineering. I have climbed, Pico de Orizaba, Iztaccíhuatl. So I was basically making as much as I could of every weekend and free time that I had.
Yeah, it sounds like a very adventurous life. Pico de Orizaba is definitely on my list. I haven't made it there yet, but so I have to ask you this. You are, from Mexican descent, grew up in Mexico, adventurer. I feel like, and this is kind of a tangent, but I have to ask you because I feel like so many Americans just go to the same places in Mexico, usually beach or whatever. Like, from all the places you've been in Mexico and all that you know about the country, what are your favorite destinations, or I would say even in nature and adventure destinations in Mexico? So
there's a state, I don't know if you have been, but it's called Chiapas. It's in the south of Mexico. Yeah. I don't know if you know about a place that is called Arco del Tiempo. It's one of the most magical places I've been. And Chiapas, it's full of, waterfalls, just breathtaking landscapes, jungle, lagoons. I don't know, it's everywhere in Mexico. I just need 3 states or 4 states to finish exploring all the states in Mexico. But I guess it just depends on what you want. We have everything. We have, desert. We have places where it snows, breathtaking mountains in Nuevo León, close to Potrero Chico. There's magical climbing, rock climbing paradise if you're into that. I don't know, I guess you just have to tell me what type of travel you like, and then I can tell you this one. But adventure travel, maybe Chiapas, Oaxaca, Nuevo León, Baja California, even if you want something more unexplored. Quintana Roo and Yucatan. Just depends on what you're.
It's endless, right? Mexico is
Yeah.
so massive, and there's so much to explore. So every time, I've never been to Chiapas, but I've researched a trip to Chiapas multiple times because I'm dying to go. Do you do a trip there? Because I know you run your own trips.
Yeah,
you do.
I have done those trips there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So tell us about that. Like, I think 90% of people that we talk to make 90% of their money probably from brand deals. What about running trips? Because I've seen a lot of creators start to do this, and I can't tell the varying levels of like if it's really bringing in money, if it's like too small batch, and you've obviously, I would imagine most of them go on the trips themselves, run the trips. They're the sort of face of it. They're promoting it. Tell us about that experience. How did you decide to start running trips on your own? Did you partner with a company, or are you doing everything by yourself? And then kind of like, how's it been going for you?
So I partner with a friend, the one that I went to Peru with, since she's super structured. She loves planning all the logistics, and I'm more of a friendly salesperson naturally. I just like talking to people. I'm quite extrovert. So we partner and we created Latitude. And we do unconventional trips in a way. They are not the common trip that you find on every website, or they are very, curated or very adventurous as well. We went to Ecuador. We found a local company there that they were kind of crafting the itinerary that I wanted to go. So we're basically doing all the work. I guess it could be a business if you are running the same route a lot of times, right? But for me in particular, that I have 2 jobs now, like my day job and full-time, and content creation, this is a third income source, but it also requires a lot of, effort of like getting there or like finding all the routes, and then preparing all the stuff to sell it, talking to all the potential buyers, and then going to the trip, making sure everybody has a great time, then doing the follow-up. And I think it just takes a lot of more time. For me, it's still in the process of becoming a successful business or something that is more profitable in terms of, profit. But I take a lot of, for me, I'm just so happy of having experienced it with other people. Like, I just love that. And I do it for the pleasure of sharing that experience with others and seeing how happy they are of discovering a new place, of pushing themselves to the limits that they didn't know they could go or pass beyond that. Because we did a trip to Cordillera Guaywash. We have done Guatemala, like hiking, lots of adventure. In Ecuador, we jumped off a pendulum, like off a mountain, 70 meters into a cliff. So it's just very, very kind of extreme, or people that love more things that are not that popular. We went to Patagonia this year in March.
Yeah, I saw the photos. Patagonia looks insane. I mean, Patagonia, the one time that I went there, I was just blown away by like the scale and the size of that place. Just insane. So, I mean, I'm curious though, and I hear you on like the being fulfilled by the interpersonal connections and getting people out of their comfort zone. It's like so much of being a creator is digital, and you don't actually get to talk to or eat with or tell stories with people in person. It's all through the platforms. So I totally understand that would be really fulfilling. Are most of the guests that you guys have welcomed on these trips, are they Americans, or are they Mexican nationals, or what is like most like, and I want to talk about language in a minute, but like where are they from typically, the people who engage with you on these trips?
Most of them are from Mexico, but we have had people that are from the United States, normally Spanish speaking people that live in the US, but they just like go to our trips as well. Or like a lot of people that speak Spanish follow me, but also non-Spanish speakers. But yeah, so I guess it's more for the Latin community in a way.
Well, I'm going to look into a trip because I want to practice my Spanish and check out Arco de Tiempo with you in
Yeah,
Chiapas.
no,
That sounds epic.
that would be amazing to have you. And yeah, just depend. We're thinking of doing it at the beginning of next year or like the end of this year. So
Okay.
yeah, you just gave me
That would
a
be good
reason
timing.
to do it.
So let's get back to your decision. I mean, I don't know if it was like a black and white decision, but it seems like most of your content that I've seen is in Spanish. The subtitles are in Spanish. Um, why? I mean, you speak perfect English. Obviously, you speak perfect Spanish. I think you speak in a couple other languages too. But what drove the decision to focus on Spanish language for your content?
To be honest, it was a hard decision because I knew that I had this dream of moving to the US, and I was thinking like, oh, should I switch to English or should I be posting bilingual, like doing all the work of putting in Spanish and in English? And it just struck to me the fact that there's a lot of travel adventure creators in English already. And I just wanted to be faithful to my following that I grew up in Mexico in the beginning of my path. And I just decided to stick with Spanish because there's a lot of Spanish speaking persons in the US. Like, I guess, I don't know, it's like the second official language in a way of how many people that speak and live here. And I just thought there's not enough Spanish speaking creators living in the US. And I thought that could be not like a benefit, but that it could be something that would make me stand out if I wanted to start doing things. It's been interesting. I'm trying to get more into how to also sell that to brands, but I have had a couple of collaborations with tourism boards that want to bring Mexicans to the US or promote that. And I guess it's kind of like advantage, but it's not that, I guess I'm not in the same level as content creators that just post in English all the time if I wanted to get full-time partnerships, which I'm trying to do so. But I guess it's getting there. I feel as time goes by, we're just being all more inclusive of everyone. Or there's not a lot of, bridge, I guess. I'm trying to break the bridge between cultures in a way, or to be the bridge for people.
Yeah, I love it. And I honestly think it's a savvy business decision too. We are talking to all the big agencies, brands nonstop, and it's crazy how frequently, and I would say increasing frequency of people either targeting Mexican nationals or US Hispanic, obviously like massive demographic that huge brands have budget carved out for. So we've done like Spanish language stuff for Amtrak. We've done Spanish language stuff for a whole number of DMOs, tourism boards who are focused on Mexico. And then like we've had a couple like huge brands recently reach out and express interest in US Hispanic content, audience, content in Spanish. So I think there's going to be tons of increasing amount of opportunity in that space.
Yeah, and I feel that something that you brought up, there's a lot of, for brands, an industry that they're not seeing, or a target or a niche of all the US Hispanics that are here, that they also like the outdoors, that they also, spend money on brands and they want to know where to go or like to recommend. So I feel, of course, I'm Hispanic. I'm not going to be just like coming to the US and trying to be, somebody that I'm not. And I guess it was just a decision to be the most authentic that I could be and just continue. Like, I can speak in English or I can create content for brands if they wanted to me in English as well. And yeah, like I could, but I feel I'm posting for the Spanish speakers that are, just bored or don't want to be translating all the time the content that they see in a way. Or I guess I just did it for that reason.
Awesome. Well, congrats on everything. It's been great chatting. I have one question that I ask almost everyone who comes on the show. And it sounds like you'll have an interesting answer because you've traveled all over the place. If your passport only worked in 3 countries in the whole world, you could only live or visit 3 countries, what would those 3 countries be?
I guess US, Mexico, and Brazil.
US, Mexico, Brazil. Good combo. All right. I like it. So Tanya, for those who don't follow you, can you tell us where to find you, where people can follow your content and check out your trips and your guides online?
Yeah, my Instagram handle is Tanya, Tanya Badillo, Badillo. And yeah, you can find me there also on TikTok, on YouTube. And that's my website as well.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Ross.
Creator, the podcast, is produced by Matador Network. We are a leading global travel publisher focused on travel and adventure. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe. Every week, I interview a new top creator. New episodes are released every Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere podcasts are found. Thanks for listening.